Hello, everyone. Welcome to your eclipse season reading. We are going to discuss the astrology first about each of the eclipses that are taking place. It's really important for you to understand. And so the first part of each sign's reading will be the exact same, explaining the astrology. I will leave a timestamp below if you want to skip the astrology portion, or if you watch for your sun, moon, rising, and north nodes so that you don't have to go through the astrology more than one time. But these eclipses are truly about endings, old cycles completing, release and healing through the full moon lunar eclipse we're having in Pisces on September 7th, and then the new moon in Virgo solar eclipse we're having on September 1st is about new beginnings, but it runs really, really deep. Okay, so for the Pisces full moon total lunar eclipse happening on September 7th, we're going to have 4 planets retrograde: Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. And Saturn will have just moved back into Pisces in its retrograde position. So we're going to have Saturn in Pisces while we're having this full moon total lunar eclipse taking place. And Saturn is the great teacher. So you are truly coming to an end of an old cycle. Things that you've been working on for 3 years, 5 years, some of you maybe even 10 years, just depending on your own personal astrology. And the sun will be in Virgo, Mercury will be in Virgo, Venus will be in Leo, Mars will be in Libra, and Jupiter will be in Cancer when we're having this Pisces full moon total lunar eclipse. Check your personal natal chart and see which house is ruled by Pisces. And even if you don't have any planetary placement in that house, one of your houses is ruled by Pisces. And that's most likely where you're going to be having this closure, this release and healing, this completion of soul lessons, soul cycles, etc. It definitely can impact multiple areas of life, but the house that is ruled by Pisces is going to be the primary place you are experiencing this eclipse energy, as well as the messages that come through in the reading portion. Okay, and also eclipses are notorious for revelations, truth being revealed, and some of these doors that are closing you may be very excited about. And if there's a door that closes that you're not pleased that it's closing, just know that it's closing for great purpose, because something much better is going to be coming in for you. And the star of these eclipses is truly the Virgo new moon partial solar eclipse happening on September 21st. And the reason for that is we are having a grand air trine as we are experiencing this solar eclipse. And a trine is about mastery. Okay, so through the lunar eclipse, things that you've mastered, all of that is going to transform into wisdom within you, which is preparing you for the new path that this Virgo new moon solar eclipse is putting you on. Okay, and this grand air trine is going to involve Mercury in Libra at 1 degree, Pluto in Aquarius retrograde at 1 degree, and Uranus in Gemini retrograde at 1 degree. And now here is something pretty exciting. Both the sun and the moon are going to be at 29 degrees Virgo, which means they are right on the cusp of Virgo and Libra energy. In fact, later in the day, after the eclipse, the moon is going to move out of Virgo into Libra. Anything that sits at 0 degrees or 29 degrees is right on the cusp. So this trine is also including that sun and moon. Look up the astrology for September 21st and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And the sun and the moon are not the only energies that are on the cusp this day of the eclipse. We also will have Mars sitting at 29 degrees in Libra, which means it's cusping between Libra and Scorpio. And then also Neptune is going to be sitting at 0 degrees in Aries. It's currently in a retrograde position, so it's right on the cusp of Aries and Pisces. Okay, and so these cusp energies are also about out with the old, in with the new. Okay, so at the beginning of the month, that's big time changes, doors closing, soul cycles completing, things coming to an end. And some of you that have been really struggling emotionally, this is a time of deep, deep healing and release. And then when we come into the Virgo new moon solar eclipse on the 21st of September, that's the birth of a new you, a new version of you, and new lessons are going to be coming online. And this is also opening you up for new relationships, new experiences. Okay, and with the eclipse energy, sometimes it's just like right on point, things ending and new things beginning, and then sometimes it's a slower fade into that newer energy. And look to see which house in your chart is ruled by Virgo, because that is the primary place you're going to be experiencing all of this new energy. And overall, you are shedding an old skin and birthing into a new version of yourself all through September with these eclipses. And don't forget, the North Node is currently in Pisces, destiny, purpose, calling for this life journey, which you are learning, which you're striving for. And the South Node is in Virgo, which is past life energy, as well as, you know, all of your evolution and unresolved karma, unfinished lessons that carry into this life journey with you. So September is a very, very powerful time astrologically, and this is also a good time for you to decide, I'm letting the past go and I'm opening myself to new experiences. And if you want to do any sort of like candle ritual under the Pisces full moon lunar eclipse for total healing and release, I highly, highly encourage. And then if you want to do a candle ritual under the new moon energy to welcome in what it is that you truly desire to take place in your life, I also highly encourage that. All right, so that is the astrology that you are working with, and let's get into your reading portion. Hello, Leo. Welcome to your eclipse season messages. Let's get right into it. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, links will be listed below. So let's see what messages are coming through for all the Leos for eclipse season. All right, fire element with desire. Sixth house with routine. And Saturn return with age. Okay, so Leo, you are going to be changing, all right? Your daily routine, your habits, your behaviors, your service to others, your job, where you are feeling very bored and uncomfortable, you are going to push yourself into change, and these eclipses are activating you to do so. And with Saturn coming in, Saturn return, we have Saturn that I believe, let me just make sure, where's Saturn on my chart? Okay, yes, Saturn retrograde returned into Pisces as of September 1st, and it's going to be there until we get into February of 2026. And Saturn is our great teacher and karma balancer. And so there is a lot that is going to be shifting and changing for you, not just in your life, but in your mind, in your heart, where you are complacent, where you are even uncomfortable. You're finally going to feel that you have the strength mentally, emotionally, and spiritually to make change. So, one thing that's really jumping out at me is romantic partnerships. If you are in a relationship that feels like it's just habit, it's just routine at this point, you're not happy, you haven't been happy for a while, you're finally going to be like, you know what, I'm out of this. I can't do this anymore. Where in the past, you may have really struggled with making this decision. You've been trying to figure it out. I need to be happy. I need to work at this. And now with these eclipses, especially with Saturn coming in and this fire trine of desire, you can't do it anymore. Okay? The things that just chafe away at you, you can't do it anymore. And you're realizing that. And it's not that you stop caring about somebody, it's that you're starting to care about yourself again and your happiness. And you may have just retired yourself into this relationship or into this particular job or different circumstances of life where you're like, you know what, this is what it is. I just need to accept it and figure out how to be happy with all of this. And now these eclipses are activating you in such a way where you're like, I cannot do this anymore. I need to make a change. This will drive me crazy. I am so miserable. I am so unhappy that I cannot do this anymore. And finally having the strength to make that change, make that decision. And Saturn has really been working you as it's been moving through Pisces, okay? It's really been working on you. And so it's like about a 3-year cycle for Saturn in any particular sign. It did move into Aries earlier this year, but went retrograde, and now it's back in Pisces and will be in Pisces until February of 2026. And between now and then is when I feel you're really going to make these decisions, because Pisces is a water energy. It's about the emotions and, just caring about feelings and wanting to please others and serve others and not wanting to hurt anybody, not wanting to rock the boat or ruffle feathers. And now Saturn moving into Aries and staying there, you are feeling empowered once more, okay? Because Aries is a fellow fire sign. So where you have felt kind of dampened, weakened, that's all shifting and changing, and you are becoming empowered, and you are reclaiming your confidence and your self-esteem, and different things that you were unable to do or choices you were unable to make, now you are going to be very empowered to do so. And different things in your own life, ways of thinking, patterns of behavior, any capacity in which you feel that you've been self-sabotaging, you're finally going to make changes there too. And you're really coming out of that people-pleasing energy where you've been putting others' wants, needs, and happiness before your own. You're like, I can't do this anymore. It's like trying to wear a pair of jeans that are 3 sizes too small for you. It's going to be that uncomfortable to the point where you're like, something's got to give, and you're finally going to make that jump and start pursuing your happiness once more, because this fire element with desire, your wants, your needs, your happiness are now going to become important to you once again, where it's not to say that you lost yourself, but as Saturn was moving through Pisces, for whatever reason, it put you more in the mode of pleasing others rather than trying to please yourself. And it could be You in the past you feel like you made some selfish decisions, and so now you're trying to not make a bad choice once more, but you're going to realize, you know what, I've got to be true to myself, or what's the point in all of this? And so there's a lot that's going to be changing in your life because of the choices that you are now going to make, and finally seeing yourself, your wants, your needs, your happiness as just as important and significant as others in your life that you deeply care for. It's like I said, it's like you've been wearing a pair of jeans that are 3 sizes too small, and you can't do it. And taking those jeans off brings you so much relief. Leo, you're finally choosing you, and because of that, things are going to start falling into place for you. And on top of it, remember, you're going to feel very empowered, and through this experience you have been growing spiritually, and that all of this experience and pain and struggle is going to transform into strength and wisdom. And some of you may even choose, even if you've been at the same company for like 10 years, I need to find a new job. I need a change of scenery. I need new people in my life. I need new energies in my life. I need happiness in my life again. And so you're going to pursue that, because that's how these eclipses are activating you. So let's pull some tarot. Let's go deeper. Oh, this song just popped in my mind. I know the name of it is called Run, but I can't remember the singer of that song. Look up that song. Just like type in Google song called Run. And there's a lyric in there that says, I've never been this bored before. And that's what I'm feeling for you. And oh my gosh, it's going to drive me crazy. Let me look it up really quick. I like know the singer of it, but I just like I can't think of it. So let's see. Oh, it's not popping up. One Republic, and it's not One Republic. This is going to drive me nuts. Oh. You know what? Let me type in, I've never been this bored before. Collective Soul. I knew it. Collective Soul, Run. Look up that song. It describes the energy that I'm feeling right here so perfectly. Oh yes, look at that tower with release, and the tower is unexpected things, and people around you may be like, what is going on with you, Leo? But you're like, I need some flavor, I need some spice, I need some happiness. Yeah, you've been in Hanged Man in this paused position. 10 of Wands, it's too much. You're done. And also with 10 of Wands, there's a lot of soul lessons that you have gained through this experience. And look at that, the World, fulfillment. Yep, you are completing a big soul cycle with these eclipses. And Temperance with Serenity. See, you can't, Leo, you can't stay in the same spot any longer. You've been there for a very long time, and it's been comfortable and it's familiar, but now it just it doesn't fit on you anymore. And you've been already aware of this, okay, leading up to these eclipses, but the way these eclipses are activating you, it's like you're finally ready to set down this 10 of Wands. You're finally ready to come out of this Hanged Man position, even if it does require radical change, you are at the end of a very long soul cycle, and you're ready for happiness, balance, and harmony to be restored in your life. And just look at this. You've got 4 major arcanas, which are more impactual energy in the tarot, and then the one minor you have is the 10 of Wands. Okay, 10s are all about the completion of the journey, and the world is all about the completion. Okay, and with the Wands, whatever this is for you personally, it's too heavy to bear anymore. You realize, I cannot go the rest of my life like this. And you finally have the strength within to decide to make these changes. And also, through these eclipses, the universe might be coming in and kind of giving you a helping hand and pushing you into making that choice. And I'll give you an example. When I was doing YouTube in the beginning, there came a point where I was like, should I go into YouTube full time? Should I go into YouTube full time? And I wanted to, and I really wanted to pursue the spiritual path 100%, but I was really struggling letting go of that paycheck at, my 8 to 5 job in the corporate world. And I thought about it, I marinated on it for months, and then finally the universe forced my hand, and I had to make a decision for a family member in my life and to really be there for that person. And the only way I could do that is if I quit the corporate world and just focused on YouTube, so that I was available to this person at all times. And so the universe forced my hand, and I am more than happy now that it did. Okay, it was not easy at first. It took about 6 months, and then everything was okay. And so with the Tower coming out, the universe might force your hand, because this cycle is complete. This version of you is ready to fall away. Okay, and the new version of you is just waiting to be born. And Saturn has really been teaching you and raking you over the coals over these last 3 years, as it's been in Pisces. And now as it moves into Aries, along with Neptune being in Aries, you're gonna just have a spiritual strength that you feel was lacking in the past. Six of Wands. See, it's going to lead you to your victory. And oh my gosh, make sure you listen to that song, Run by Collective Soul, and, do the lyric video so you can see the lyrics. And look at that, the star. Yes, reaching the light at the end of the tunnel, healing and wish fulfillment. The Devil, see, on top of this 10 of Wands. You can't do this anymore, Leo, and you're realizing that. And the 10 of Cups, it's time for your happiness. And 7 of Cups, there's more choices and opportunities out there than you see in this moment, okay? It's like it might be, and look at what's on the bottom, the 10 of Pentacles. Okay, so 3 tens, and then look at that, the 8 of Cups. Yes, 3 tens. Saturn moves through a sign for about 3 years. Okay, you are at the end of a cycle, and there's multiple cycles within this cycle. Okay, and you've gained all that you can possibly gain from wherever this resonates in your life personally. And 8 of Cups, withdraw, walking away, and it's all 8 cups are filled. You've gained as much as you can. Okay, and at first it might be a little uncomfortable, it might be a little bit scary, but guess what, Leo? You're gonna adjust and you're gonna find a lot of happiness. Okay, The changes that you've been thinking about, it's time. And these eclipses are activating you and may even finally force your hand into this change. Because there's a whole new chapter for you to now explore. Yes, look at that. Mutable energy, a period of harmony. And you see the butterfly nebula there. Cancer, I feel you. So you've been feeling people too much and caring way too much about their happiness. And it's good. But now this is where the universe is saying, Leo, it's time to care about you just as much. And Mars, upper hand. You have the upper hand here, even if you don't see it in this moment. Okay? And on the bottom, even is divine timing. It is time for this great change. Mars is currently in Libra and will be moving into Scorpio on the 22nd of September. And Libra is about karma and balance and justice, as well as relationships. Moving into Scorpio, that is the house of endings and beginnings. So the energy is already moving. The eclipses are activating you. The universe may force your hand. It is time for change, and a change is coming, Leo. So those are your messages. Again, if you would like a personal reading with me, links will be listed below. I am sending you so much love and light. Take care.